Now, up to this point, I explained a lot about pre-rendering and how Next.js does that. But we haven't really seen it in action other than on the running website in development mode. But I do want to show you what exactly Next.js does do for you when you build the application. Now, I did mention this build script before. This build script, that's a script you execute when you're ready to deploy your next application, your Next.js project. And this build step here, this next build command, which is executed in the end, this will then pre-generate your pages. And to show this to you, here I quit my development server and I'll run npm run build here. So I'll execute this build script and therefore next build in this project folder. And what you'll see now is that it's now creating that optimized production build, and that can take a couple of seconds. And after a while, this build process will complete. Now we get a couple of pieces of information here. We see that it was successful in the end, because we have no error here. And we see that it generated 2 static pages here. And we see the detailed output down there. We also have a legend here at the bottom telling us that a filled dot stands for static site generation. So for a pre-generated page that was pre-generated during development or during the build process because it uses getStaticProps. A lambda symbol would stand for a server-side only page, something we're going to see later. An empty dot stands for static, so also a page pre-generated, but a page that doesn't even need any data and therefore doesn't use getStaticProps or anything like that. And if we scroll back up again, we see that in the end, the 2 pages that were pre-generated is the starting page, so /nothing, so index.js, and then a 404 page. We haven't added one, but you get one for free automatically. We can ignore this _app thing here. Now the 404 page has an empty dot, which means it was pre-generated without any data, which makes sense. We didn't add our own one, and the default one is not fetching any data. And index.js, so /nothing, was statically pre-generated with help of getStaticProps. That's why we have that filled dot here. That's how we can read this. And we can also see this if we have a look at the .next folder, which was generated now, which holds this production-ready code, so which holds the output of the npm run build command. Then in there we do have a server folder into which we can dive. And in there we see those pre-generated HTML files. The 2 pre-generated HTML files. And in index.html, if you open that, you also find that product data in the end in there. Because that's the pre-generated page, which we also see if we would visit this page in the browser. And that's that pre-generated page, which is sent back on the initial request to the search engine crawler or to the visitors of our page. And we can even preview this production-ready page here by running npm start. npm start starts the production-ready page with a Node.js server, and whilst we typically would do that on some remote computer to expose it to the world, we can also do that locally on our machine. And then again, it starts on localhost 3000, but this now is not the development server, but the real server serving the production-ready page. So if I visit localhost 3000, if I enter this in the browser, I still see this page with the pre-rendered products because we just saw that in the pages folder in this .next folder, which holds this production-ready site. Side note, in the page source, you also see there is some script tag injected by Next.js, which in the end includes that data with which the data was populated. That is needed for this hydration, where the pre-rendered HTML code is then connected with the React application. And that data which was prefetched is handed off to that React application so that the React application knows that this was dynamic data and which kind of data should be rendered. So that if you continued working with that data and you would be updating that data through React.js, React would know which kind of data was received originally. That's just a side note. It's all done automatically. We don't need to do anything for that, but that is how Next.js does work here and how it pre-renders pages for you.